Fire and Ash dethroned, the latest from the Oscar nominees, and so much more in this episode of Beyond the Screen. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting edition of Beyond the Screen. I'm your host, Ryan, and with me, as always, is the one, the only, the enigmatic, I should say, Jake Holtzclaw. Jake, what up, man?
What's up, man? There are others, mind you. There was a famous Viner at one time with the same name, but I don't think he does that
Jacob
anymore.
Holtzclaw?
I think so. Yeah, he fell off hard.
Well, he fell off because you're the one and the only. You're here.
Right. Well, not the one, but I am. Well,
the only.
Maybe I'm the one. Maybe I'm not the only. Maybe I'm the one.
No.
That one.
The only.
Singular. Sure.
How have you been? What you been up to this past weekend? What's been going on?
Snow.
Yeah.
80,000 snows, perhaps.
Yeah.
If anybody watches Ryan Hall, they'll know that reference because he had his little boy on and he was holding him on his shoulder, and he's like, "What do you want to happen with the forecast on this weekend's Snowmageddon?" And he's like, 80,000 snows or whatever. And I was like, "Whoa, whoa!" And then Ryan Hall said, "I'll try to make it happen." I'm like, "No,
please.
No, are you kidding me? You're crazy." But yeah, so when I hear snowstorm, I'm like, perfect. Like I'm a bear, man. Like I'll go in my cave, I'll close the rock door, and I'm there for 4 days straight.
Jake in his natural habitat is his bedroom and his home. I don't know if you guys know, we've probably talked about this a little bit. Jake is the definition of a homebody.
Yeah. I have blackout curtains. I never open them. I could sit in this room, like, even if my heater went out but my power was on, my computer would heat the room because I'd have my door shut, and I wouldn't even notice. My toes might get caught. I might put socks on.
The physical representation of whenever someone opens like the blinds and then they hiss, like that is actually Jake. Hey,
but at least I'm not blown out because there'd be a bunch of light coming in.
Yeah,
But so I do it for you guys. Not really. There would be times that if I was left to my own accord and like working from home whenever I want, there would be moments where I wouldn't know what day or time it was.
Oh,
like blackout curtains never open. Like you just have no idea. Go to bed whenever you're tired. Yeah.
I love the idea. You look outside and it's dark. It's like 9 p.m. You're like, all right, I'm going to do some work or whatever. You sit at your desk and you're like, I've been here a while. You look out and it's still dark and you're like, oh, it can't be that long. Like, right. But it's been a full 24 hours.
Yeah.
Bro, it's just.
Yeah. Or it could be 12. Could be full 12s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could sleep the whole time, wake up and it's still dark. I'm like, oh, yeah, well, got up really early, didn't I? It's like
going back
11.
to bed.
It's like 11. No, just game a little bit. I used to do that on a night shift at the warehouse. Like you get home at like midnight, you game till like 3 or 4 in the morning because you weren't tired, and then you'd sleep till 2, and then you'd go to work.
That's just not healthy. There's got to be.
Yeah. I mean, there would probably be times where I'm like, man, I want to go do something, go shopping, go ride the motorcycle, walk out, and it's just pitch black.
Yeah.
There's like, man, nothing's open. That's what sucked about that shift was you couldn't do anything.
Second shift.
You get home. Yeah. Like you get home and it's just no doctor's appointments.
The bright side about working third is that if you got home at like 7 a.m., 8 a.m., you sleep till 3 or 4, you have the whole afternoon. If you work morning, that's peak because you get there at 6, you work till 3, you're off. Yeah. Again, you have the whole afternoon. Second shift, 2 to midnight. Golly, that's awful. Terrible.
I did it, man. COVID times. It's crazy. Hey, perfect time to grow your hair out. Not a soul will know that you went through that weird awkward phase that everybody has when they grow their hair out.
Yeah.
Like there's always a weird awkward phase where it's like, what are you doing, dude?
What are you trying to do?
Get a haircut. Get a haircut. And so what I did is I put a bandana around to keep the sweat out. And like I always had it like, yeah. and I got away with growing my hair out through the awkward phase because I used to have Ryan hair. Yeah.
Yeah, my hair. Well, the thing is, you'd say
I'm not saying
hair.
Ryan's hair now is awkward. I'm saying like I used to have that hair and then I grew it out, which obviously would make like a grown out almost bowl cut, and then I started parting it in the middle. Yeah, and then it got real awkward. Then it got real awkward.
Our audience hasn't really seen my hair. I think maybe once I went without a hat, but that's why I wear a hat is regularly. I have like that awkward phase because I'm so busy, I don't even think about it. Like, I don't even think about, like, I get out of the shower in the morning, I comb my hair, it dries, it's not long enough to take forever, and then I leave my house.
I wish.
Then, like you could kind of see it. Like, it's getting too long to where it's time to, when it starts rat tailing like this in the back, like right here, you can kind of see it, whatever. That's when I know it's time to get cut. And right there, you see that? Yeah, it's time to get it cut here soon. But anyway.
I get 2 haircuts a year.
Jake's got the ponytail going. No, so my weekend, I'm gonna, to get us moved on here, it held up because Snowmageddon hit, as you said. Literally did nothing. I hope that you guys at home stayed safe and warm. A lot of people in our state, we're located in Kentucky, for those who didn't know. A lot of people without power. Like, I think the number was 50,000, was like estimated 50,000 people without power. So a lot of havoc wreaked by the ice in particular, not necessarily the snow. So hopefully everyone stayed safe and warm. But you guys are here for film news. Before we get to that, we always start each episode with a quick little micro segment we like to call What Are We Drinking?, in which we answer the age-old question of what are we drinking? What beverage gets us through every Monday night's episode? To help us out here, we're bringing forth from beyond the curtain Emily Keller, our lovely director. So I'll start with Emily. Let us know what you are drinking on this fine afternoon.
Thank you, Ryan. Over here, I am having an iced matcha with half and half and honey. To Jake in the studio.
Ice drink is crazy, it being 8 degrees outside. But anyway,
hey,
Jake,
I will get an iced coffee in the dead of winter. I don't care. I do not. It just matters of whatever I want at that time. That's what I'm getting. Like sometimes, yeah, give me a hot latte, man.
I'm not confined by the constructs of your imagination
of the weather, of my environment, of my climate. I'm not confined to my climate in terms of drink habits.
Your global warming conspiracy does not define my drink.
I'm still gonna order ice, buddy.
Yeah.
Anyway, what are you drinking, Jake?
Let's do a coin flip. What do y'all want, heads or tails?
Tails. Oh. Looks like we're gonna break the tie because we said the opposite.
Tails.
Canned air.
Oh, whoa! Wow. Let's try the other option.
Whip it.
What are you really drinking?
Autism.
No!
Right.
What are you really drinking? Get him out of here! No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, edible liquid. I don't have anything besides the
Pro-Wa.
Karma Pro-Wa.
All right,
probiotic
Jake.
Water.
Karma this evening. Ryan, you're drinking?
I am drinking a different type of tea this fine afternoon. I'm drinking blueberry. It's elderberry lemon is what this is. It's actually delicious. It's very, very good.
I'm
showing your age, bud.
For branching out and trying something new.
Have you ever tried it?
I hate elderberry.
Why? Elderberry's good.
It tastes like cough syrup.
You're wrong.
Awful.
Incorrect. Anyway.
But I'm proud of you for branching out.
Thank you. It's supposed to be like immune helping. I don't know. I like the taste.
Good.
It's very good.
Immune helping, probiotic, iced.
The whole 9. All of them. No, hot. Not iced. Just hot. But that's okay. And that has been What Are We Drinking? Thank you, Emily, for joining us. And now to the film news. We finally get into segment 1, which is, as always, we go over the last week's box office. But first, we see how we did in our predictions. So let's see what we predicted heading into this week.
I did great.
I predicted Avatar Fire and Ash. Number 1, anyway. Number 2 was Mercy for me. 3, Zootopia 2. 4, 28 Years Later. And 5, I predicted The Housemaid. Jake predicted Mercy at 1, Avatar Fire and Ash at 2, Zootopia 2 at 3, 28 Years Later at 4, and The Housemaid at 5. And we did as follows. I got 1 out of 5 correct, that being number 3, Zootopia 2, a down week for me at the box office predictions. Jake is on his way up, ladies and gentlemen, getting 3 out of 5 and was 1 prediction away from getting a perfect 5 out of 5 score. That Mercy, Avatar, Fire and Ash, and Zootopia 2, 1 through 3, all correct. And if only he had flipped 28 years later in The Housemaid, he would have had 5 out of 5. But
wait a minute.
In a little bit. In a little bit. Let's get through this and then we'll say, okay? Alls might not be as it seems because as the numbers are finalizing, it's a tight race for 5 between Marty Supreme, the returning, and 28 years later. We'll tell you how that has finished out when we get to number 5 in our box office, because what we're going to do right now is tell you how Jimmy did. Jimmy is our chatbot that we ask every single week that we compete against. What do you think the box office will be? Jimmy predicted Mercy at 1, Avatar Fire and Ash at 2, Return to Silent Hill at 3, Zootopia 2 at 4, and 28 years later at 5. And Jimmy did okay. He got 3 out of 5, but it wasn't as good of a 3 out of 5 as Jake, because he had obviously Return to Silent Hill back up in there at 3. And, you know, he had 28 years later at 5, which again could be incorrect, but still Jimmy scored a 3 out of 5. Now, let's go back to the top and let's read you those top 5 again and break down what those numbers currently are. So, our box office top 5 are as follows. Mercy, the Chris Pratt thriller about an AI justice system, finishes first. Avatar Dethroned at 2, Zootopia 2 at 3, The Housemaid at 4, and potentially The Bone Temple at 5. We'll talk about that more here in just a second, but let's go back to the top and tell you those exact numbers. Finishing first again is Mercy. Down goes Avatar Fire and Ash as Mercy debuts with 10.8 million domestically, earning 22.8 million globally. The Chris Pratt starring AI justice enacting thriller earns a top place finish, but not as well as it seems with Amazon MGM's film. The film only earned a B- cinema score and a 20% from Rotten Tomatoes tomato meter. Critics did not like this film. Things are not looking great for a film that cost $60 million to make. Films that do bad at the cinema score and the Rotten Tomatoes tomato meter usually don't have a lot of holdings week over week, so this film might not be profitable, especially after marketing, where that $60 million is just production costs. So looking like it might be the first loss of the year, and that belongs to Amazon MGM. Finishing second in its 6th week in theater is Avatar Fire and Ash, earning 6.4 million domestically and just over 1.38 billion worldwide. After finally giving up that number 1 spot in the box office, a few questions are now answered that we had been wondering the entirety of last year leading up to the release of Fire and Ash. 1, we now know that it will not hold on to that number 1 spot as long as the first 2 did. Each of Avatar and Avatar The Way of Water both had 7 straight weeks at number 1. Now we know for a fact Fire and Ash will not be meeting the first 2's 7-week run. And Fire and Ash will be the first in the series to not hit 2 billion globally, although consolation prize, it will still more than likely hit 1.5 billion. So still a successful film in any stretch of the imagination. Finishing third in its 9th week in theaters is Zootopia 2 from Disney, earning 5.3 million domestically, pushing its totals to 1.74 billion worldwide. The rabbit won't die, Jake. The rabbit won't die. It's still succeeding, finishing third again. The film's 38% drop in ticket sales from last week is the lowest in the top 5 this week. And it's a film in its 9th week in theaters. The $150 million budgeted film, again, now crosses that 1.74 billion. I want you guys to hear that. That's an insane number for a sequel animation film from Disney. Finishing fourth is The Housemaid in its 6th week in theaters, earning 3.9 million domestically and 294.9 million globally. The Sydney Sweeney starring adaptation of the Frida McFadden novel continues to succeed. Again, we know there's going to be a sequel on the way. This is just another one of those films that just keeps trucking as it keeps going on in the box office. And now, lastly, we're going to describe our battle for 5th place. Jake, the numbers have probably finalized.
Nope.
No, not yet. Okay.
I just keep refreshing it.
Jake is hitting that refresh button trying to figure out. So as things stand right now, number 5 is 28 Years The Bone Temple, earning in its 2nd week a $3.4 million domestic haul and pushing its global tally to 46.1. The horror sequel has dropped an astonishing 71% in ticket sales. That is insane, but it's not uncommon for this franchise, as the original 28 Years Later, I think I read, dropped 66% after its first week. So a very, very bad commonality between the two, and now many are wondering if the third will even happen. The reason that we keep saying this might not hold is because as things are updating, the one film that has not been solidified yet or certified with its box office updates is Marty Supreme. If it holds at what it's currently at, Marty Supreme will upset 28 Years Later to reclaim number 5 at 3.5 million. But The reason we say it might not hold is because every one of the other films that are surrounding it, when their numbers were certified, they dropped at least $200,000. If that happens, if it drops that average $200K, Marty Supreme will fall to 3.3 and will fall to 6, where we are projecting it to finish right now. So who knows? As of right now, Marty Supreme is technically 5th, but that's without the drops on its certification that the rest have seen. So as we speak, 20 years later, holds on to 5, but Marty Supreme is making that run for 5. Anyway, outside of the top 6, we'll say, Return to Silent Hill finishes 7th in its debut. I don't know what Jimmy was on, man. That's a crazy prediction to have it at 3. We talked about this last week. I just don't know if there is a market for a poorly marketed Silent Hill adaptation. I don't know. I don't think that there's really a film market for that right now. I don't know. Anyway, and Hamnet finally gets a 1,000 theater plus release after months, it feels like, in theaters on the small chain market. Hamnet finishes 8th on the national scene. So, Jake, looking at the box office beyond the top 5, even the top 10, what do we see? What catches our eye?
Sorry, you caught me off guard. I was trying to see if anybody else had finalized these numbers, and they're still
my bad.
conflicting.
You're good.
So I don't really know who's the truth seeker here, but anyway, outside of the top 10, maybe, because we've got re-releases of The Lord of the Rings. Ryan's movie that he was talking about much earlier, Clicka.
Yes, of
Remember
course.
that?
Yes. Of course. I've been eyeing this for a long time.
Been eyeing this for a long time. A small-town musician pushes to carve out a place for himself in the new wave of Mexican-American music after a clip of him performing one of his songs goes viral. Yeah. And this was Ryan's super into this, right?
Right. Yes, me. I'm so excited for this movie.
522 theaters, 14 in its debut.
It's pretty good.
What else we got brand new? Arco released to 4 theaters, hoping to get its little was it Oscars teaser right there, Arco.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's gonna release to more theaters, but I believe it's a French film, right?
Yes. So this is released by Neon. It's a 2026 re-release. This is the Box Office Mojo quick synopsis for those who don't know what we're talking about. In 2075, a girl witnesses a mysterious boy in a rainbow suit fall from the sky. He comes from an idyllic far future where time travel is possible. She shelters him and will do whatever it takes to help him return home to his time. So, again, another Oscar hopeful in the animated scene. We talked about it a lot last year.
Yeah, and people were what's the word? It snubbed something else out that they were not happy about. And I think it was Demon Slayer and possibly even Chainsaw Man. They're mad that the animes did not get in, besides K-pop Demon Hunters.
Which is that even really like an anime? I would say that's anime adjacent, but I wouldn't claim K-pop Demon Hunters as anime.
I don't know. I think some would actually argue it's Korean anime, which can be different. I think I've seen that. Anyway, we can get into that further once we get down into the Oscars. But yeah, so there is a little upset there. So more on that after. What's next, Ryan?
Predictions.
Not the break.
No, we're not going to break this yet. We're going to talk about what we predict for next week, because next week's going to be a fun week. And you know what? I have a bone to pick with Box Office Mojo. Why are you leaving out films?
His bone, guys.
Why are you leaving out Iron Lung in your week-to-week projections or your week-to-week release calendar? That's insane. And 2, we've been complaining about this on the soapbox for a long time, so we're probably moving off of Box Office Mojo. What's up with the limited?
When I called Ryan out. I called him out today. I was like, "Hey, Ryan, you're forgetting this." It
wasn't really a call out. It was because I looked at the one calendar that we had been trusting when we probably shouldn't have, and it didn't have a certain film on there. Whatever. So anyway,
and I said, "Hey, Ryan, do you know you're forgetting this one?"
And it was a very helpful reminder, and I thank you.
Yeah. I just gave up the loss.
No,
I wanted to be fair. Like I gave up the win. Sorry, I gave up the win.
Anyway,
he just seen it and threw a fit anyway.
bone to pick with Box Office Mojo, because why is Iron Lung not in there? That's ridiculous. That is insane to me that that's not in there, because I completely forgot that was this weekend until you reminded me.
2,500 theaters worldwide, mind you, not just here.
Right.
But granted, it's the big three. The big three have picked it up.
AMC, Regal,
Cinemark.
Cinemark.
Yeah. So theoretically, it's got a chance. And with the week it shows, not that big a competition.
Do you want to know how big this film is going to be? Regal gave it its own popcorn bucket.
Yeah.
It has its own popcorn bucket specifically made for the film from Mark Fishbach, who's Markiplier, for those who don't know. And
right.
I don't know how true this is. I only saw this online, but there is a rumor, unsubstantiated report going around that Markiplier apparently released the 3D printing model for the bucket. And apparently for those who have a 3D printer, if they want to create it at home, if they bring it in,
cool.
People are saying that they get free popcorn. I'm not for sure.
Dude.
I haven't seen how real that is, but I have heard that. And if, again, it's just stuff like that. Like, let's say even it's not real. People are so excited for that they're still talking about the bucket. Like, even if that's just a marketing tactic by fans to get more people in theaters. Just because you don't get the free popcorn, does that mean you're going to stop going to see the movie if you're already in there? No. So anyway, Iron Lung is going to be huge. It's in every major theater chain, as Jake had said, and I think that audience is ravenous. I had a tough time making sure I had tickets a month ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was buying tickets in December, and I had a hard time finding a theater because they were bought out.
Right.
So with that, I'll go first. Usually I make Jake go first. I torture him, but I'm gonna take the shot on this one. Iron Lung's going first. Me and Jake both predicted that, and all the credit to Jake for reminding me, even though it's not on Box Office Mojo's calendar, that it was coming out this weekend, because I completely forgot again. Iron Lung finishes 1. I predict Send Help at 2. I love Sam Raimi. I said before we started recording, I am a Sam Raimi lover. I love everything he does. The horror icon himself. I think everything he touches is fantastic. I know Spider-Man 3 and Doctor Strange weren't great. However, when he's in his element, that is the thriller, the horror element, I don't think he does any wrong. So I'm leading with my heart. I will have Send Help at 2. I've seen a lot of promotion for that because the algorithm knows I like it. Then at 3, I have Shelter, the next Jason Statham action film. Yes, you've seen them all if you've seen one, but they're still fun to go see, and I think a lot of people love Jason Statham, so I think that's going to finish 3rd. And then the rest are the 2 that will hold out in the box office for as long as possible, but beyond that, there's no new releases that can really compete with these anyway. Avatar 3 at 4, and Zootopia 2 at 5. I just think that those 2 are safe. The returners, they'll slide down. The first 3, shockingly, in a week that's not necessarily huge, there are a lot of films that will definitely take a lot of spotlight. I really feel so. When you have Iron Lung, Jason Statham, and Sam Raimi all releasing in the same week, I think it's tough for any returners beyond who's already been in theaters a couple weeks, and there's nothing right now that's out that I think will compete with those.
Okay. 2 horror movies in the box office. He's got them at 1 and 2, folks. Is he on the loopy pills? Is he on the crazy meds, man? I don't know. So I'm saying no. I'm saying Iron Lung. Obviously, Markiplier fans go back how many years has he got it now?
2010,
15,
I think.
20?
Yeah, 15, 16.
Yeah. So Iron Lung at 1. Obviously, if you don't know who Markiplier is, he is a cultural icon for those our age. He is. If you're a millennial, you'll know who PewDiePie is. He's on that level. Actually, if you know who PewDiePie is, you probably know who Markiplier is. Anyway.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
I would say
I don't know anybody else.
Like young millennials to all of Gen Z know who this man is.
Yeah. Yeah. And then now he's coming out with a movie, which is, an okay genre, I guess, for the group of people that follow him, I guess, because they're still into like Freddy Fazbear and like Five Nights at Freddy's and what else would have come out that they horror adjacent. Silent Hill or those,
so Silent Hill, Resident Evil, that kind of era. And again, Markiplier made FNAF what it is because his fandom, he was one of the first big creators to actually latch onto it and be like a FNAF creator for a while. Something else I want to point out before you continue just about Iron Lung, the reason that this is so cool, I've been following Markiplier for a long time, again, of the age. This guy has been slowly creating more and more stuff like this throughout his entire career. This isn't just like a jump into filmmaking. The guy played the game Iron Lung. It's an indie game. It's a short indie game that he played 2022 or 23, got the rights for it, worked with the creator of the indie game. He stars in it. He wrote it. He's directing it. He helped fund it. Like, this is the whole thing. All this is his project. I was there during the days of Who Killed Markiplier. I was there through the days of Markiplier in Space, right? Like all these things. Like, and as he's continuing, you can see his storytelling chops and his cinematic storytelling chops just growing and growing and growing. And so it's not shocking that we've gotten to a real feature length, like in theaters. Right. So it's been a very cool progression throughout like my life, and to watch his career get to this point, especially with like Markiplier made his name on playing indie horror films. How fitting that his first feature film, because I doubt this will be his last, is an adaptation of one of those feature films or one of those indie horror games that helped make his career. I am beyond thrilled for this. I'm so excited. Anyway, please continue.
I'm just going to move on down the list. I'm swapping Ryan's 2 and 3 for 3 and 2. So I'm putting Shelter. I'm putting Statham. I'd do the same thing. If I was a lighthouse keeper, and a girl showed up, and I guess the Navy SEALs or something wanted her back, and she's hiding in my lighthouse, and I was actually a secret ex-agent or something.
Always the secret agents that are always these people.
And yeah, I'd do the same thing. So I'm putting it at 2 because I know the audience. It's unlikely that the kids will drag the parents there for Iron Lung because the kids are now old. But I still think like that will fill seats because I had looked this up because I was curious. Working Man, which was not necessarily like a success, I don't think, still got 15 million right out the gate. Mm-hmm. So I think Shelter has opportunity to be up there. I just think Iron Lung is going to be more than 15, I think, or right at it, because I don't think Shelter will bring 15, but I think based on that fact. And Send Help, I disagree with Ryan because it's 2 horror films kind of in one box office. So I'm going to put it at 3 because I think Ireland's going to take a lot from it, but it is new, and I think a lot of people were into what isn't it? Dave Franco and
no, it's hold on, give me 1 second. Send Help. He is well known. I can't think of his name.
It's not a Franco, is it?
No. It's Dylan
I tried
O'Brien.
to clock it, folks. Yeah.
Dylan O'Brien.
Dylan O'Brien. Yeah. I could still see it being one of the younger Franco brother.
And mind you, the other co-star is Rachel McAdams.
Right. Rachel. So, and then Avatar 3 and then Mercy. I think Mercy's going to stay in 5. I really do. I think it's going to drop hard, but I think that Zootopia is on its way out, so much so, which Ryan's got at 5. I think it's so far out the loop. I think it will be knocked off.
I don't think that that's necessary. I think that's a good call. I don't think it's inaccurate. I just think that Mercy will have a very similar to 28 Years fall, and I think Zootopia, we've seen it just doesn't fall below 40%. And if at whatever, let's see. If Mercy at 10.8 drops 70% and Zootopia drops 35, you're going to have a real tight competition at 5 between Mercy and Zootopia. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's going to be tight. So, yeah. Something else, too, going back to Shelter and Jason Statham. In my headcanon, every Jason Statham movie, because the joke is that he plays the same character. In my headcanon, they are the same character. It's just the same guy who's just changing jobs. And he's got like, he's changing. So he knows that like, so Beekeeper, right? Like he was in the Beekeeper. Like he was in the
that's
program.
Going to get a sequel.
Yes. I'm so excited. I actually really liked Beekeeper because of its expansive story beyond Jason Statham. The idea of like the beekeepers work beyond the rule of law and they act independently to keep the peace. And I like what happens when one goes kind of rogue of that idea. And it's like, but you said they could go, what I think that's cool. But I love the idea too, that like, imagine the dude from Beekeepers, like, I got to change my name. the CIA is gonna come after me, so I'm gonna go work in this lighthouse. And then this girl shows up, and he's like, he's like, I gotta do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I look, because I don't know. It just fits every film that he's in. The catalyst to get him to hit, like, hurting people is so, like, paper thin and flimsy that it's like, yeah, of course it would be the same person every time. Just like, you scammed this old lady, and then she killed herself.
She killed herself.
Yeah, so it's crazy.
That was the crazy part.
Yeah, she's like, oh, I lost all my funds. He shows up and he's like, I'm gonna get him. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. I just love the idea that all of Jason Statham movies, it's one universe and it's one guy just changing his identity every 5 years or so, or last 3 years or so, and just continues to get into these unconnected, just hooplas. I think that's really funny. But anyway,
the Dr. Phil comedian, he dresses up as Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
He said that he can do a Jason Statham impression.
I've seen this.
And he just goes, ugh.
It sounded just like him. It sounded just like just the.
I was like, yeah, that'd be him.
That is him.
It's like, sir, you parked your car in the wrong, in the handicap spot outside the grocery store. Yeah.
Go watch that clip if you haven't seen it, because that is pretty funny. Anyway, let Jake get us through Jimmy. What did Jimmy predict for this upcoming week?
Jimmy's thinking about Jason Statham, and he's put him up there. He's been up there tall, shelter at 1.
That's great.
I had to coach Jimmy. I had to tell him, hey, iron lung is a thing, Jim. All right, Jimbo, iron lung is out there. I had to treat him just like Ryan. I had to hold his hand. I said, hey, you're not the only one forgetting about this. These fake fans out here.
Oh, okay.
And so Jimmy said, you know what? Iron lung at 2. Iron lung at 2. He did not put it at 1 at all. Mercy at 3, Avatar at 4, Zootopia at 5. So if there's anything to say, Ryan and Jimmy are going to share the 4 and 5.
I'm fascinated by how different all three of us are.
Yeah.
Like we all three saw the upcoming release slate very differently. And I'm fascinated to see who gets closest to accurate coming next week.
There's an opportunity for all of us to get all of them wrong. Like,
which
that's
would be awesome. Can you imagine?
That'd be a crazy toss-up.
We have 3 different versions of this. I would love to know the odds of what all of us getting 0 of 5 correct are. Like, we all go 0 for. We all bat 0. 0 for 5.
Oh, all for
what
0?
What are the odds of that? It's got to be low.
Jimmy.
Jimbo! Anyway, while you do that,
Jimbo,
we're going to go ahead
and
we're going to toss it to break. So anything else you want to talk about before we hop into break and while you do that research?
I got nothing. Well, what's coming out next week? We got that. Can you look that up?
Yes, I can.
Or hold on. We got
upcoming next week. Send Help, Shelter, Iron Lung, Islands, which is a crime drama thriller. I do not know who is releasing this, but it's directed by Janel Gerster, which sounds made up. But she is a real person. She directed it. Back to the Past, a action adventure comedy starring Louis Koo and Raymond Lamb, followed by Mardani 3, which seems like a Bollywood film. Moses the Black, which is a crime drama, comes out as well. The Love That Remains, a comedy drama about family. And then lastly, according to IMDb, our rounding out film that's coming out nationally is Tafiti Across the Desert, an animation from, let me see if I can find a distribution house for them. He's a young meerkat. So the IMDb synopsis is, quote, Tafiti, a young meerkat, initially rejects friendships with Bristles, a bush pig. When his grandpa's bitten by a snake, Tafiti sets off to find the flower for the cure. Bristles wants to prove that adventures are always better with friends. It also looks like Timon and Pumbaa. It looks like a Timon and Pumbaa
exactly
ripoff. This is like, this is gonna really age me. I feel like back in the day when I lived in like in my old little like hick town when I was a kid, my dad we had a rental store, a video rental store, and my dad would come home with movies he thought that we would like. And most often they were like those one-off films that were obvious spoofs of higher budgeted films, and they weren't really that great. And you remember them like Alpha and Omega. I don't know if you remember that, the Wolf movie.
I do.
That was one of them. That was definitely one of them that I remember watching as a kid. This is that. This feels like that. So I don't know if you want to watch Tafiti Across the Desert, the Timon and Pumbaa spinoff, literally a meerkat and a pig, but that is here.
The Moment comedy documentary drama thriller. Hey, guess what it isn't? An action movie. It's a callback from last episode.
Right. Every time that we look at those, they always put as many genres as possible, and we're going to start telling you what they aren't so that you know what they are, because it's more than likely listed as everything else that we're not describing. Anywho, that's what's releasing this upcoming week. If any of those catch your fancy, or if you can even find them in theaters near you, tell us how they are. But for the most part, we've talked about the big ones. So coming up after the break, the Oscars are official. We'll talk about what the nominees are in each category and give you the latest. Coming up next. Welcome back to Beyond the Screen. You made it to segment 2, which is always our major news segment. We are officially in the final part of the season, Jake. The Oscar rundown is always kind of the end of our season. We're heading into season 3 very quickly. This season felt like it flew by. We've talked
Month
about
and a half.
week after week. We've talked about the biggest in the latest in film news, done film reviews and so on and so forth, trailer reviews. So, Jake, isn't that crazy, man? We're almost to season 3.
Just to think, you used to be 20, man. Now you're pushing 30.
It's crazy,
Nuts.
man. Crazy.
Nuts.
One season lasts about 4.5 years. It's crazy.
Not with you, man. It doesn't feel like that long at all.
Thanks.
Feels like about a year for me.
I love the idea too that someone's like scrolling back to our first episode and they're like, why does it only go back about a year and a half? where's the other 8 years?
How is he 30 now?
They're like, where'd they go? Yeah.
Well, you see, Ryan is in a different part of the state, and he ages quicker than I do because he goes around the sun
Didn't
faster.
You know, the closer to the equator you were, the faster you age.
Yeah.
Sun damage is real, ladies and gentlemen. So now I'm almost 30. But anyway.
Right.
You're here for film news, not my aging crisis. We're going to talk about the Oscars, as again, they're officially official. We know exactly who's up for what, and we're going to walk you through not only the biggest of the official numbers, but we're going to talk about the snubs as well. So we have a lot to talk about and a lot to think about. So, I've
got probabilities to win, Jimmy. You know what Jimmy says? Jimmy says he's got an 82% chance to win.
Oh, okay. I'm excited to hear this. 1 and 2, keep in mind, don't forget at home, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have an Oscar prediction special. We're going to, I think we could also name who we think should win, like the Beyond the Screen awards or whatever, but the Oscar prediction is who we think the Oscars, the Academy, will choose to win. So we'll figure all that out, but that's coming up, and that's going to be so fun. We're going to predict more categories than we did last year. We only did about 8 categories last year. We're going to do closer to the full 24, or as many as we can realistically. So I'm excited. So keep up with us, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Let's get into it.
Yeah. I just wanted to say that, hey, Jimmy says he's going to win. He's going to win next week's prediction.
Yeah, Jimmy is very prepared. Announced by Daniel Brooks and Lewis Pullman this past Thursday, all 24 categories have officially found their noms. This year also features the newest award, Best Casting, so that'll be fascinating to predict as well. Each category consists of 5 nominees, with the only exception being Best Picture, which has 10 films up for grabs. According to ABC News, 317 films were eligible for the Oscars, and 201 were eligible for Best Picture alone. So it was a tough road to get here for the Academy, trying to vote who goes where. Let's get you the biggest in terms of the latest from the nominees. So here are the most nominated distributors heading in to this year's Oscars. Warner Brothers has 30 nominations across all of their films. Those major films include Sinners, One Battle After Another, and Weapons. Ryan Coogler's Sinners makes Academy history with 16 nominations, and Paul Thomas Anderson's One Battle After Another finishes second in most nods this year with 13. So Warner Brothers, we talked last year about how they had a fantastic year in the box office making money. They were coming out with a lot of really good films. Now the Academy rewards them for it. And something else to think about too. Early 2025, they were slammed for hinging their bets on original stories. That being Sinners and One Battle After Another. Sinners earned back money, One Battle After Another didn't, but collectively the two have 29 Oscar nominations. So they have more than they hedged their bets, and they have won. Neon is the second most nominated distributor with 18. They had Sentimental Value, The Secret Agent, It Was Just an Accident, and Surratt. So Joachim Trier's Sentimental Value earned 9 nominations in total. Netflix finishes third with 16 nominations with Frankenstein, K-Pop Demon Hunters, and Train Dreams. Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein finished with 9 nominations of its own, despite del Toro missing a Best Director nod. So a lot of people are talking about that snub in particular. Frankenstein, a lot of people love it. Guillermo del Toro, while heavily nominated, did not get himself a nomination for Best Director. Again, despite a Best Picture nod, Train Dreams star Joel Edgerton did not receive a Best Actor nomination. And I want to talk a little bit about Train Dreams. I watched this very recently. Jake, I'm telling you, Train Dreams could be this year's Honora that sneaks in there and is a surprise to everybody for Best Picture. It could be. That's not my prediction. But it's a good film. It's very, very good. Watch it. A very fun period.
Chat, is he lying?
Well, chat will say yes because of its 82% prediction. But
no, that's what he was saying next week's movie box office.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let's get through this.
That's why I thought it was funny. It was like, yo, Jimmy says 82% on his, his prediction.
Sorry, I thought you were talking about the Oscars. Jeez. Jimmy's wrong. Anyway, Jimmy's wrong. Finishing fourth with most nominations is Focus Features with 13. That had Hamnet, Begonia, and Song Sung Blue. Hamnet receives 8 nominations, although lead Paul Mescal, was left out of the Best Actor race. Finishing fifth, I should say, is A24 with 11 nominees. That includes Marty Supreme, The Smashing Machine, If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. So Marty Supreme finds its own 9 nominees for A24, but not as all sunshine and rainbows. The thing is, despite starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, The Smashing Machine only pulls in 1 nomination for Best Makeup and Hairstyling, which seems insane for a film that was as highly campaigned for as The Smashing Machine, but it only pulls in 1. Apple, coming up next, finishes with 6 nominees. That includes F1, The Lost Bust, Come and See Me, In the Good Light, and so on. F1, surprising many with its own Best Picture nominee. Walt Disney, shocking to a lot of people, only had 4 nominees at in this year's Oscar race. Those include Avatar: Fire and Ash, Zootopia 2, and Elio. So those last 2 in particular, you will note those are animated features. They hit big in the animated scene with 2 different films up for Best Animated Feature. That, again, being Zootopia 2 and Elio. However, Avatar: Fire and Ash continues to make history in the Avatar series, only receiving 2 nominees, one for Best VFX and the other for Best Costume. This is the first film in the franchise to get snubbed from the Best Picture race. The other 2 both finished at least as nominees for Best Picture at the Oscars in the years they were released. Looking around at the snubs, the big one everyone's talking about. We're talking about, as you can see on your screen if you're watching on YouTube or even on Spotify, John M. Chu's Wicked 2 does not get nominated at all. Last year, the original was nominated for 10.
Yeah.
Didn't
get
tired
of the singing.
Well, big boos from Emily from Beyond the Curtain. The thing is,
screen.
From Beyond the Screen. Some reports are saying, and that the rumor mill's turning and the theories are abound, that the Academy wasn't too fond of the Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo antics on social media, on the red carpets, in the interview setting. Apparently that might have pushed them away, kind of weirded them out. Some of the terminology I had seen. Again, unsubstantiated. That's just what I had read online. But that could be one of the reasons, if you believe that to be true, for why they weren't nominated. And sorry, go ahead, Jake. What?
No, I just thought that was funny.
Oh yeah, sorry.
I was like, nah, we're not gonna give it to them because they're acting weird.
They're weird over there.
They're weird.
Despite a fantastic
of all
run,
the people
please.
To say that somebody else is weird, it's the Academy, right?
Yeah.
It's what do you call it? The Hunger Games level, like District 1 style, dude. No, they're weird. Big, just grandiose. Just
giant,
they're weird.
like, pompadours and just
that's what I'm saying.
Odd fellows.
Yeah. I don't like them. Anyway, continue.
So the other snubs include Hedda, starring Tessa Thompson, despite a fantastic run at the Golden Globes, completely snubbed. And we talked about it earlier, animes. Animes were completely snubbed from Best Animated Feature. Demon Slayer and Chainsaw Man both falling out of any nominees. Jake, let's go back to the top. What are our takeaways from the now official list of the Oscar noms?
I'm thinking that one battle after another is going to come out pretty good. But I think Sinners is going to win way more. And I think that's what I'm going to see. Is I'm going to see Sinners at my top. I haven't even seen it. And that's what I'm going to say. I think that's going to be up there. Could win Best Picture.
Yeah. I have a fear. So I agree with you. I do think Sinners was just the best overall film from this last year. The problem is I think recency bias will win Marty Supreme some of their categories that they go head to head. I think, because that's kind of the thing. I don't think One Battle, yes, it's got 13 nominees. I just don't think it will. I don't know. I just don't have a good feeling about them with some of their unified categories where all three go back to back. Because most categories that they're each nominated in, they compete against each other. To the happiness of Warner Brothers because they own two of them. But yeah, I think if it comes down to it, if you really had to put your dukes up and you had to look and say, okay, which one's going to win the awards? I think Marty Supreme and Sinners will beat One Battle in most categories.
Oh, something else. They got someone else who got snubbed. Jesse Plemons.
Begonia.
In Begonia.
Yeah.
And it didn't get Best Picture nominated either?
I can tell you real quick.
I don't remember. Anyway, but yeah, Jesse Plemons acting his heart out as always. Didn't secure it, and it's like, man.
It was nominated for Best Picture.
No, it was? Okay, then
Yes.
it missed something else that somebody thought it should have. But Jesse did lose out on that. So let's see. Yeah, I'm kind of sad because like I'm seeing a lot. I wish I could get my hands on Chainsaw Man. The Resark. What is that on now? Can you get it on Crunchyroll?
Maybe now, but you know how long those things take before they hit the streamer. I'm not for certain. From those who have seen it, from what I understand, I can understand why people are so mad that it wasn't nominated at all, because those who went to go see it in theaters, I've only heard good things. They say it's fantastic. Right. One of our
some
close
say
friends,
it's better than Demon Slayer.
One of our really close friends that we talk to almost every week went to go see it twice. Drove out of state to go see it in a theater because it wasn't showing anywhere near him to go see it twice because he loved it so much.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've only heard good things. Something that's interesting to me is again, Frankenstein and Train Dreams. It's fascinating to me to see Frankenstein getting more love because I truly believe Train Dreams is a better film. I love the aesthetic that Guillermo del Toro can give in every film. Like any film you watch from Guillermo, you know what it is because he just got such an aesthetic. Whether it's a Pinocchio, the stop motion, or Pan's Labyrinth, or even Pacific Rim, or Hellboy for that matter. You know it's him because the way the visuals he can get. And Frankenstein pulls no punches. It is very much, it should win Best Makeup. It should win Best Set Design. It should win all these different awards, right? Maybe even Best Adapted Screenplay because it was very, very faithful to the Mary Shelley original. But it's not better than Train Dreams. And Train Dreams did not get as many nominations. So I'm fascinated by that for Netflix. If you combine Netflix and Warner Brothers, which they're hoping to have happen before next year's Oscars, that is 46 nominations.
Heck yeah.
That's ridiculous. Going through as well, Neon was kind of the darling of last year's Oscars. They had Anora, which won Best Picture, I think, if I remember correctly, Sean Baker, the writer, director, producer, he went 3 for 3. He won Best Original Screenplay, Best Director, and obviously Best Film. So Neon coming back into this year with 18, including Sentimental Value, which I've seen a lot of people say is very good with its own 9 different nominations. Marty Supreme, again, when you compare the two, I think that recency bias, I should say, will give Marty Supreme a few wins over Sinners, and maybe that's Best Picture.
No, I don't think so.
Something too, F1. Did you end up seeing F1?
I did not.
F1, so it's by
I haven't seen any of these.
It's a guy that made Tron Legacy. Joseph Kosinski,
Right.
an absolutely insane director. He did Top Gun Maverick, if I remember correctly. He's done obviously Tron Legacy, as I just said. I remember sitting in theaters with F1 and being astounded because it's like when you're in that cockpit with Brad Pitt, you really feel like you're on that track. Your heart gets bumping, especially in theaters. I'm very happy to see it in Best Picture. Is it there because it's Brad Pitt? You know what I mean? Like, does it really deserve a Best Picture nom? I'm not for certain.
That's
Jake,
crazy of you to say.
Continue. Expound. What do you mean?
I thought you loved that movie, man. You was talking it up like
it's fantastic. No, it is.
Yeah.
It is a fantastic film. I'm just surprised to see it there.
And now you're like, it's just because of Brad Pitt that it's in the Oscars. It's not that good.
I definitely should have gotten nominated for Best Editing, Best Original Screenplay. Like, it deserved its nominations, but did it deserve Best Picture? I just don't. You look at 10 films. You know, you get 10 films in Best Picture. I think there are 10 films that were better. I really do. I think there are 10 films that were better than F1 from this past year.
The Lost Bus.
That's it. The Lost Bus. That's it. That's the one I was hoping that you would say. I'm definitely not going to say Wicked 2.
Come on, girl.
Girl, come on, girl. No, I don't think it's Wicked 2, but I just think that there were 10 films that were better. Something else that we haven't talked about yet. Superman.
Name 10 films.
Name every film ever.
Yeah. Don't talk to me till you've named all the films.
I think Superman was absolutely snubbed. That's another one we don't have on our list here.
Yeah,
James
that
Gunn's
wasn't in there.
Superhero flick, nothing. Yeah. No nominees at all.
Batman will be there.
For sure. It'll probably get nominated. I'd say probably Best Actor with Robert. I would probably say.
How about Stan?
Maybe.
Seabass. They go Seabass Stan.
I don't know. No? It depends on like how he might be best supporting come next year.
Forget about that. Yeah.
But I don't know.
Anyway.
I find this fascinating in terms of like who got what and who went where. So Jake, is there anything else that catches your eye when you look at these, when you read these numbers, when you look at the nominations? What catches your eye?
I can say that I don't feel like I'm going to have the same upset as Flo and the robot. What was the full title of that?
The Wild Robot.
No, the Wild Robot. Yeah. I don't think I'm going to see as crazy of an upset as I did last year, dude. I was not happy. Neither was the girlfriend that Flo beat that out. I sent something to Ryan not a few days ago about the art style of the Wild Robot. And it's just like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? They went into this much detail and they lost to something awesome, but I don't know, man. I'm biased. I watched that and that was it. So Leo, in my opinion, this is another thing going through all these. Leo animated feature film nominee. I don't think needs to be in top 4, top 5. Like the 5 that were not, I don't think. Nope. Leo should not be there. Sorry to the people who worked on Leo. But
Elio, what's funny is Elio was panned when it first came out. People did not like Elio when it was first released.
Yeah. You're telling me Elio beat out those 2 animes. I mean, that is straight up Academy bias. Am I wrong?
No, I think you're completely right.
Whomever's deciding, whoever decides who's nominated, whomever gets to vote, I truly think did not watch any. I mean, we did this last year, right?
Yeah.
How are you gonna vote? How are you gonna vote with not watching it? And we could tell with even last year's nominations that these people aren't watching all of them.
Yeah. So what Jake is referring to is last year it was revealed that a lot of the Oscar voters don't watch the films. They will keep it. They will turn it on in the background just so that they can get the whole credit for having watched it, and they just won't sit through it. It's kind of a bombshell report that came out right after the Oscars last year.
Yeah. And Emily says that they're all using their own jimmies
to summarize it. I guarantee it. No, you're probably right. Yeah. And so, yeah, no, I think that the short answer is they're not watching the animes. They have, it's not just bias. I think it's probably a snobbiness. It's my dad had a phrase, don't want to say an old holler town phrase, but my dad would say, if it rained, they drown because their nose is so stuck up. And that's how it feels with this. We are too we're too like high of like caliber film to watch anime. So we're gonna watch Elio, and it's like,
or not even. They're not even gonna watch Elio, and they're just gonna say, "Oh, Elio over
Disney.
anime." Duh.
Disney.
Yeah. Oh, this is a Disney animated. Okay.
Gotta be better.
Wrote in, and then Little Amelie or Character of Rain. I don't know what that is, but like I don't want to take it away from him. But I'm saying it's like, let's get some recognition for Demon Slayer that broke records.
Yeah, it feels like Arco was put in there to satisfy that anime because it's an anime adjacent. Again, I'm not for sure if it's actually an anime.
Yeah, I think
again,
Arco falls in line. I think it falls in line with the Oscars and just kind of like the overall. It is an artsy kind of style, and I don't know. I feel like Arco has the story to warrant the nomination or to warrant to be in the running for him. But like Elio in a movie I've never heard of over the other ones that I haven't even seen. I haven't seen any of these. And I'm like, are you kidding me? The amount of people talking about and watching and loving other animated features outside of Elio. I'm just going to pick on Elio because I really don't want to. I'm not going to be mean to a movie I've actually never heard of. But still.
Yeah, the thing is, we all know who's going to win best animated feature film. We all know. Like, it's not even really a competition. It's going to be K-pop Demon Hunters. This isn't even a prediction. We're not going into prediction realm. It's just, if anyone knows anything about anything pop culture from this last year, they've heard of K-pop Demon Hunters. They've heard Golden. Like, it's just, we know K-pop Demon Hunters is going to win, but you're going to snub out, because the thing is, the fact that you were nominated does so much for you as a creator, you as a production company, and so on and so forth. You're going to snub out some of these anime creators, right? So these filmmakers who make works of art that people love. Again, how many times this
for pennies, by the way, animating that for nothing.
I mean, they're working probably 70-hour weeks, realistically. So we're talking about, you're going to snub them for what? Because, like, the Oscars are for who? They're for the fans. Like, realistically, right? You're saying, remember those films that you watched? Yeah, we're going to recognize it. And of course, there are those who would argue, and there's just as much of an argument, I should say, it's 50-50 both ways, that it's for the art of filmmaking. Not everyone is going to go and watch Train Dreams. Not everyone's going to go and watch, I'm looking at the best documentaries, the Alabama Solution. They're just not. But at the end of the day, that's why you televise it. That's why you make it a big spectacle, is because it's for the fans. And that the fans are telling you, like we had done all of last year, is say, look, anime, it is pop culture. It is in America. It is here to stay. It's only getting bigger. Every time an anime, even if it was Wednesday through Friday, hit theaters, it was in the top 6 or 7. It was in the top of the box office. I knew you were going to do that, but you know what I'm saying. And the fact that you're going to reject that because, well, it's got to be better because it's Disney. That's ridiculous to me. No, I think you're exactly right.
Yeah. Can I make that argument anywhere else? Can I keep this conversation going? Let's see here. It's no joke, people. I don't watch a lot of movies as soon as they come out. That is just not something I do. I have not seen Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Blue Moon, Sinners, or The Secret Agent. I've not seen Frankenstein. I've not seen Hamnet. I've not seen Begonia, Weapons. It's awful. It's awful, people. But in the next month and a half,
he will have.
I hope to have watched the majority of these. Yeah, I hope to get around to them.
I actually have a hot take here, and it's, I think Avatar: Fire and Ash will not win a single award. I think it will.
Really?
I think it'll get blanked.
It's in here for
best makeup and best costume. Yeah.
Visual effects, costume.
Let me make sure that
it's visual effects and
just
costume.
Just best costume design is what it's in there for. That's it. It's going to get
visual effects. It's got visual effects.
Oh yes,
going up against F1, Jurassic World, Rebirth.
I missed that. Yes,
the Lost Bus and Sinners.
It's going to get blanked.
You know you wanna.
Yeah, it's going to get blanked because I think that when you have F1 and Sinners with best VFX, and you have Frankenstein and again Sinners and best costume, it's just not.
Oh yeah, they're gonna give that to Lordy. Are you kidding me? No. Yeah.
Yes,
costume
Frankenstein.
Design?
Yes.
Sorry, not a
reason
Lordy.
for this.
Kate
My reason for this everything that it's in there for, well, I'm going to pick on costume. That's digital.
Yeah.
The costume is digital. You can make the argument that they're not even really wearing a costume. Whereas Jacob Elordi is in full garb. Many a time it made the rounds on social media. He was in that chair for 12 hours when he put the full on head to toe suit. I think it's going to go, and there's a thing is Sinners is right there as well. Again, we're not actually making predictions here, but I will make the bold claim. I think that Avatar will 0 for 2. I think it will only be a nominated film. It will lose with best VFX and best costume. And I think that the VFX is probably a hotter take because it seems like the obvious choice. But when you have films that are as hot as they are that surround it, and people, the thing is, Fire and Ash wasn't as loved as the other two. So I think it could fall. Yeah. Public perception, while it does fail from time to time with the Academy, it doesn't always. A lot of times they do influence. And the fact that it was as received as poorly as what it was by some people, I think it will fall in VFX especially.
All right.
Any other thoughts?
We're at an hour, Ryan. Can you believe that?
I know. Any other thoughts on the box office, on the Academy, the Oscar nominees before we move on to segment 3?
Be on the lookout. We're gonna do something big. We're gonna go all out. We're even talking about possibly sitting next to each other. Yeah.
You mean we're not sitting next to each other right now?
No. Physically.
Yes. We're talking about something fun. So
close enough to hold hands.
Yes. Keep your eye out. And we look forward to the Oscar season getting full-fledged underway. With that, we're going to go ahead and move on past our main segment. So coming up after the break, we play Real or Fake and tell you what you should know before you go. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Beyond the Screen. You've made it to segment 3, which is always we tell you the other pieces of film news that came out this week. We play Real or Fake, which is a game where we read a headline, we read a response to that headline, whether it's from the fans, whether it's from the media, or whether it's from us, and we decide whether or not that opinion, whether it's real or fake, and then we tell you the rest of the headlines in quick succession, give our opinions, and get you guys out of here. But before we hop into that, we want to tell you thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting, liking, subscribing, commenting, the whole nine. We love you guys. We love that you're here. And just, again, I always do this every week, but for me personally, the fact that you allow us to entertain you, to maybe educate you a little bit, and it just help you pass the time with our film news, film opinions, our hot takes, our bad takes even, is beyond words. And the fact that, again, you allow me to do this with two of my closest friends, that being Jake and Emily. I just can't thank you guys enough. So thank you guys for allowing us to be here. And Jake, anything you want to tell the people before we get into our final segment?
I appreciate y'all lending your eardrums for us to beat on.
Bro got into character, and he seemed like he was. I won't even lie. You seem sarcastic. He went, "I want to thank y'all." Like, it just seemed so disingenuous. I know it wasn't.
Oh, it might have been.
Oh, maybe a little bit playing a character.
No. I appreciate you guys a whole bunch. Like, I'm looking through analytics, sometimes YouTube and Spotify and Apple, and like Apple's got some listeners that we don't mention enough.
Yeah, thank you, Apple.
So,
Apple
users,
listeners.
even though you're kind of odd and you don't use Spotify.
Bro, you can't see us. You can't see us at all on Apple. But no,
that's probably a good thing. But we appreciate you wherever you are listening. Yeah. To the one Germany listener back in season 1.
Yeah, no, he's still around. He's still here. Representing.
Yeah. All right.
And with that, let's get you through. Yeah, let's get you through segment 3. We play Real or Fake, our first quick little game before we get you through what you should know. Our first story in Real or Fake. James Gunn and DC have announced that the writer for their highly anticipated Batman the Brave and the Bold will be none other than Christina Hodson. Hodson is known as the writer for Bumblebee, the canceled Batgirl film, and the DCEU's Birds of Prey and The Flash. I'm going to let that sit in for a second. Birds of Prey and The Flash.
They something came out that they had shelved the Batgirl film because it was so bad. There was speculation, right? There was speculation And then there was a lot of people who were like, we loved it. It was great. And I think that was like all the people who actually worked on it.
Right.
And then somebody had come out recently, very recently, saying that, yeah, it was so bad they shelved it for tax purposes because of it. Like they strictly literally said, it's like, okay,
we
this
will
is taxes.
We will take that with a grain of salt because they did do that with Coyote versus Acme. But from what we saw, the visuals of it, it didn't look very enticing. And so who knows? But
did they delete it?
I don't know. I'm sure they still have it in a vault. But with that, we'll play real or fake. The hiring of this writer for the previous regime's worst projects, arguably, is James Gunn's first huge mistake as the head of the DCU.
I think it's a big mistake, but I don't know if he's got any other mistakes. Arguably. What has he done, Ryan? First huge mistake. Has he made mistakes?
Arguably, he talks too much. Arguably, he babbles. No, that is a very real critique of him. Yeah. He's always trying to.
I just think you're going for it. It's just Ryan's vendetta against.
No. I love the DC. I love Superman. I love James Gunn.
James Gunn, Tom Holland.
Yeah, right. Arguably two of the most beloved characters on the internet.
I hate those people. that's what Ryan says.
Him and his stupid white hair. No.
I love James Gunn. He talks too much. He lets his wife kiss John Cena.
Say that. That's a very real critique.
I don't like him.
Yeah. He let his wife kiss John Cena. What a
weirdo.
Yeah. Anyway. No.
Yeah. So, Sure, I'll go.
Oh yeah, of course. There
I hate James Gunn.
Yeah, of course. There it is. It's written in stone now. No going back.
Tom Holland and James Gunn, man, bane of this guy's existence.
They're on the list.
I think it's real. I think this is not a good idea. I don't know if it's the hugest, but I think it's pretty on track to flop. I think it's already on track to flop. I've seen Bumblebee, and I've seen Birds of Prey. I've forgotten both.
I will give her. Now, I don't mean to be that guy, but as the local Transformer,
you know what that means.
Fan in the room,
you know what that means, guys. He's about to say something.
This is my tism showing. My local. This is your friendly neighborhood Transformers fan here. I will not give her all of the flack for Bumblebee because they randomly tried to change the canon like out of nowhere, and it was a tough pill to swallow for fans, and it was kind of like trying to fit like a square peg in a round hole kind of thing. Like it just didn't really make a lot of, like, for me anyway. I know a lot of people like Bumblebee. It just didn't seem like it made a lot of sense because it's like you see in the first film all of the Transformers in like the Michael Bay version, right? This is supposed to be like a reboot of Transformers. In 2007's Transformers, you see all of them come down with the exception of Bumblebee, right? Because he's technically already there. That's how Sam Witwicky picks him up, is at a car dealership because his mission was to get into like the life of Sam before the Decepticons, right? Like that's like the whole mission. But they heavily insinuate that Bumblebee's not been there for very long. That was like the whole thing. It was like, oh, like B, you got to assimilate. You got to figure it out, and you got to get in this kid's life before we get there so you can protect him because the Decepticons are going to get him. And you see that very quickly. Like after B enters the Witwicky household, immediately Barricade tries to attack him and blah, 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 blah. All his history. In Bumblebee, they randomly were like, oh yeah, by the way, he's been there since pre-World War II, and so have other Autobots and Decepticons. And it's like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? Like, so I do not blame Hodson for a bad producer. You know what I'm saying? Like, I will not, or not bad producer per se, but like a bad call. You know what I mean? She got billed and she got paid to write a story that didn't make sense from conception. So I don't blame her. At least, again, this is all personal. I don't blame her for that. The others, though, again, Batgirl, rumored to be so bad it got shelved. For tax reasons is why, potentially, because it was so bad, they were like, let's just make our money back. Birds of Prey, I hate to say a film's not good because people work very hard on films. And again, we've talked about this here on the show. We really try to be positive. Birds of Prey was a mess. Birds of Prey was not that enjoyable. And then The Flash, this is where I agree because I think that this real or fake is very real. Hiring the writer of the worst projects from the last regime, the reason James Gunn has a job is because of these projects. and you hire the writer for those projects, what are you doing? Andy Muschietti directed, I'm pretty sure he directed The Flash. You hire the director and writing team from the worst projects from the guys you replaced because of those projects. What are you doing? It doesn't feel good. I don't think it looks good. I don't know. And
So
arguably,
what are they gonna do? Like, what is the movie that they're gonna be working on? Oh, wasn't it Batman?
it's Batman
Yeah.
Brave and the Bold. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
adapting Batman Brave and the Bold, which was getting to my next point. Arguably, the Batman as a character never looked worse than in The Flash, where these two were together.
Yeah.
I do not have a lot of faith. I will say I loved what Barbara and Andy did with Welcome to Derry, the brother sister duo. They did a fantastic job with Welcome to Derry. So that makes me a little bit more excited for the visual aesthetic because it was spooky, very dark, and very well done. I don't necessarily have confidence in Hodson in this universe, in this realm of storytelling. I do not believe in it. So I think that this is a huge mistake. And if it flops, if this is a failure, because like all this is, it's not just because it's on James Gunn because he hired them. It's even worse because you had a test, like a case study for why it was going to fail. And you went with it anyway. I think maybe the idea is like, well, I'm producing. The difference is I'm producing and not Zack Snyder. But I don't know. Anyway. Moving on. Our second real or fake. As reported by the LA Times, Disney is expected to announce Bob Iger's replacement next month. So a lot of fans online were saying this, and I was curious your thoughts. Real or fake, whomever replaces Iger should lean into animation, less live-action adaptations, but particularly with 2D hand-drawn. Real or fake, they should do this.
I thought they were going to do this.
There is one film that is from Pixar that is leaning back into 2D, and that's Gatto. But they're saying that should be, instead of, think Frozen, right? Think all of like that CGI level that they've gone with. Think How to Train Your Dragon. I know that's not necessarily Pixar, but you get the idea. You get the vibe.
Yeah.
Fans are saying they should lean away from that. Real or fake, they should do that.
I think that
real or fake, that's a good call to do that, I should say.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. They're still gonna do the live actions, right? You can't not because it makes money. But like seeing Wild Robot and how deep that hand-drawn animation was, and I think that's right. I think they should do that. I think that's real. But they're talking about it being Kathleen Kennedy.
Oh, yeah. Can you imagine? She steps down because she was tasked with or by Disney before she leaves.
That's what they're thinking. That's what they're thinking.
That would what a way. Number one, what a way for her to stick it to all those people who said that she should be out of Star Wars. She's like, okay, I'll just run the whole company, which would be honestly, that would be, I'm gonna say very Jeff Bezos of her, but only because I'm referencing one specific moment when one of our favorite moments on Beyond the Screen when we covered when Jeff Bezos said, whatever it cost, get rid of her, when he was talking about Barbara Broccoli in 007. Because Barbara was being a pain in his side about the creative direction of 007 under Amazon. And he looked at his people after she called them dumb and said, whatever it costs, get her out of here. Like, that would be very Jeff Bezos to Barbara Broccoli of Kathleen Kennedy to her audience if she does that.
Yeah. And to be fair, like, I think that she'd be good at other movies. I just don't think she grasped Star Wars.
Right. Like no one here said that she was a bad producer. People just didn't.
She's got good ones under her belt, even Star Wars ones. But like, I think the majority, if I had to point the finger, a lot of people say it's Kennedy that did it. So
yeah, no, well, you can argue that cinema isn't cinema without Kathleen Kennedy because she has her hands as a producer in so many Hollywood blockbusters. Yeah. There's a reason George Lucas like asked her to take over. Like, it's not shocking, but you could still say she didn't do a good job and then say she's good at her job in other senses. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you didn't do good at Star Wars, but you're a great producer. That's completely valid. Will she do well as Disney's head?
I don't know. I think there's going to be some decision-making processes here that's we're going to see. But
I will say, I say real, mainly because if you're Disney trying to bring back that millennial or that older generation, you're trying to create some nostalgia for the newer generation. Nothing hits a young generation with a nostalgia for something that they weren't even born for. Like that is so real. I think you bring back that 2D animation that their parents say they grew up watching and they will flock. So I would love to see. Imagine like the Fox and the Hound style animation back in theaters. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I was thinking the Aristocrats.
Even better.
Aristocats.
Aristocats is such a good movie. Underrated as heck. Yeah. There's too many to
And
count.
then, what are the two mice? I don't remember what those. The Adventure or something.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. That's the one. There's like a deep cut.
The Rescuers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
the Rescuers was nuts.
Yeah, that's a good
I
one.
remember that. 1977? No, that was the first one. Which one do I know? The 99, the 1990 sequel.
See,
I think.
when I was a kid, it was like Emperor's New Groove.
No, that was 77. My fault. Okay.
Like,
Emperor's New Groove was.
I want to see more Emperor's New Groove, man. Like that's
dude, and that had funny. That was
do a
funny.
Throwback review of Emperor's New Groove. We should.
I want to know who was involved in Emperor's New Groove, just because they knew what they were doing. At least the writer did.
A little off topic. Did you ever hear? And it's kind of on topic because we're talking about they should get back into this style of animation and filmmaking. Did you ever hear the production hell that went through?
No.
It was going to be called like Kingdom of the Sun or something. It was going to be completely different. Like everything about the story was so different, and it got scrapped. And the B story was Emperor's New Groove that we got. There's supposed to be a huge like a religious undertone with like the Aztec Empire. Like it was supposed to lean heavily into like the history, and completely like the story was not even gonna resemble what it became. But I love Emperor's New Groove. I think it is again another underrated banger of a film from Disney pre-2005.
Finding Nemo was written by same David Reynolds. Then I'm trying to find Bolt was written by Chris Williams, who also helped write Emperor's New Groove.
Bolt's another underrated one. That's more CGI.
Chris Williams did Moana, first one.
Oh, so he does nothing but Heat.
Story.
He does nothing but
the
Heat.
Story.
Yeah.
He's got some others in here, but I'm not listening well. He did Mulan alongside David Reynolds before Emperor's New Groove, so they both worked on Mulan together. Gotcha. And then Mark Dindal, which is the third writer. He's done a lot. Sorry, he's done not as many notable ones though. Sorry, he did a Tom and Jerry the movie, Rescuers Down Under, the sequel. That's it. So he must have been supporting on the other ones. But yeah,
it's not shocking that they made it work because every one of those writers made Heat. Like everything they
touched. The jokes, the Emperor's New Groove jokes, like even adult level, but also kid level, but like funny and like it's timeless. It's so timeless. And the delivery, the timing, I mean, that's more of a director level of like timing, but I don't know. Emperor's New Groove is up there.
You still see references in pop
culture.
There's
memes, man,
all over the place. Oh yes. Yeah, it's all coming together. Like, just everything.
Poison, the poison of Cusco. Cusco's poison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pull the lever, crunk. I still that still is in my vocabulary. Like that, I say it all the time. Yeah. But anyway, the point is that
also when they're on a log tied back to back on a log going down the waterfall.
Yeah.
And he's like sharp rocks at the bottom. Yep. Bring it on. I'll reference that.
No,
dude.
he says he's
the whole deal. He like describes it to him.
Big waterfall about to fall to our doom. Yep. Sharp rocks at the bottom. Most likely.
Bring it on.
Yeah. Most likely. Yeah. It's
yeah.
Such a good movie, and they need to bring back that style. They need to anyway. We'll move on to our third real or fake. This past week, Pirates of the Caribbean director Gore Verbinski claimed that the quality of CGI in modern filmmaking is due to an, quote, over-reliance on Unreal Engine, of all things. The director states, quote, people started thinking maybe movies can also use Unreal for finished visual effects. So you have this sort of gaming aesthetic entering the world of cinema. Real or fake, this perfectly explains why CGI has tanked in overall production value in the last probably 15 years.
I don't know if it perfectly explains. I don't think it's like, don't think Unreal Engine has. I don't know at what level it has been utilized across the board. I think that it probably doesn't help at by any means. I'm going to probably say real, but like I don't think it perfectly explains it. I would say that it boils down to a lot more factors, including time and money, um, and the amount of bodies on a project at one time.
Right.
It is probably understaffed, underpaid, and the timeline constraints. On top of likely using a VFX or engine to render and design a subpar for the level of creativity that they're at. Like,
Right.
I'm not saying Unreal Engine 5 is nuts. If you know anything about these gaming engines, Unreal Engine is the newest. Unreal Engine 5 is the newest one out, and it's freaking nuts. But is it a filmography, or is it a movie engine? Maybe, not really. It's not made for that, right? They could use it that way, but I don't know. Like I think of God of War, Ragnarok,
Stunning.
the one that's
Stunning.
came out. It looks great. It's awesome for a movie, or not for a video game. But it's not like movie level, I guess. Really,
Well,
maybe.
That's exactly kind of where my thoughts were too. Is like, yes, if you use it where everything in that world looks like that, it looks good. But when you're bringing it into reality and you're trying to use CGI and place it next to a person, if you put a video game model next to a real life like character, like an actual actor, it will look terrible because they're just two different styles. You know what I mean? They're two completely different realms of reality. And
They didn't use Unreal Engine 5, by the way. Sorry.
Oh, not God of War, but you get the point that I was making. And my question too is you are more knowledgeable about this in this process than I am, and so this is kind of where my mind goes in my instant.
Oh, they're claiming it
justification.
was. Sorry. Whatever this studio is. Borderlands 3, Wukong, Fortnite, Sea of Thieves, Final Fantasy 7, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, Batman, Arkham City. That's probably 4. Those are old, but I tried to look up 5.
Or
no, these are Unreal Engine 5 games.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm really trying to get a good list off here. Some good looking ones.
Well, you say Fallen Jedi? Is that what you said?
Yeah, one of the Cal Kestis.
Yeah. They look great.
Yeah, they look great for games,
Right.
is what I would argue.
So my question is to you, as someone who has a lot more knowledge to this, because my instant justification for why Unreal Engine might be creating more lackluster CGI in film, is it because you have these animators who aren't taking as much time with like the niche, like the very like the meticulously frame by frame because they're using Unreal, and is Unreal creating shortcuts? Or is it just because they're so vastly different? So first off, like I think Transformers, again, we're talking about it earlier. I'm going to go back to it. There is in the Dark Side of the Moon, or Dark of the Moon, there is a scene where you see Shockwave. He has like, I don't even remember what it was called. There's a specific name for it, but it's almost like a giant transformer worm, and it cuts through buildings, and like the way that it works in the scene, it wraps in on itself in on this building, and it like makes like a knot, and you see it like crunch, and this skyscraper starts to tilt. To do that, it looks fantastic, but to do that, they almost broke a server farm. They almost broke every piece of technology they had trying to render that, and they could not use Unreal Engine for that. And when you watch it, you can see every little detail that these animators and these CGI animators were using and doing just to make every little mechanical turn and lurch look realistic. You don't really see that anymore. And I'm curious if they're using Unreal Engine, is that creating shortcuts? I guess I'm posing that to you, Jake, because you know more than I do. Do you know the answer?
Sorry, God of War used technologies in Unreal Engine 5, like ray tracing and Lumen and Nanite. So they were utilizing Unreal Engine 5. I don't know enough about game making to have an opinion on whether or not I think that's true, but I don't think we're seeing that level of cinematography or VFX in Unreal Engine 5. I think that is what you were saying is like that's something else entirely, and I think that arguably, Unreal Engine 5 could be the cheaper option as well.
Of course.
To get your hands on it and to use it might be easier. It might be easier to pay individuals who know how to use Unreal Engine 5 less than those who know how to do VFX on the more expensive ones as well. Bringing in these game developers and trying to do that. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know. That's just me spitballing, saying like this could be happening, but it's all boils down to cost. And at the end of the day, I would foresee Unreal Engine 5 being far cheaper than the big time VFX applications that can break server farms. Because I don't think Unreal Engine 5 is busting server farms.
Yeah, for those at home or for those listening on the pod, Emily has joined us. Go ahead.
Hi, I have a comment on this. This is one of the big things I have a problem with because we saw this in Stranger Things season 5, where the quality dipped so badly, even though they had a $400+ million budget. And I'm going to pull up a comparison from all of the times Max was running in the Upside Down.
Oh yeah,
I've seen this. Yes, this is a great example.
And can I do two? No. From the first time, the second time, and the third time. And it's not a great photo, but you can totally see the first photo is when it very first happened. I don't know the seasons. I wasn't into Stranger Things very much. And then the second time is the middle one, and the last time, season 5, is the third one, and it looks horrendous. It looks like something a student filmmaker or like a cheap indie low budget. It looks like a parody Stranger Things episode. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm going to pull up another one of just Holly and Max in the Upside Down in season 5, and it also looks really bad.
Yeah.
But that aside, there's 3 things that I cannot stand lately in the film world. 1, it's this stuff, because even in sci-fi films, where it's supposed to look kooky and odd and unknown, like we've never seen an upside down in real life, we can't tell what it looks like. It looks really bad. Secondly, the fact that everything in every piece of media lately, it's completely blurred out in the background, and we're only allowed to focus on the main character speaking. And also the fact that the plots are explained to us now because people don't have an attention span to pay attention to anything on the screen except the person that's not blurry in the middle of the screen. And everything's just being dumbed down, the quality's going down, the plot and the writing's going down. It's just irritating. But anyway, I wanted to comment on that and show the Stranger Things photos. So
yeah, and so I can speak on the quality of the shot, and like what you're describing, the blurry background, that's your depth of field. That's called a bokeh. And so like the reason that you're seeing that more is because in filmmaking and modern filmmaking, it's very popular to have a strong bokeh because for whatever reason now we have as a society said, oh, that's cinematic, right? I don't care what's in the background. I just want that crushed depth of field so that we see everything super clear here, crystal here, and nothing in the back. So that's just something that has been very popularized in modern filmmaking. That's something you see everywhere. And so if you look up cinematic lenses, me and Jacob, we've gone through the ringer trying to find one or like what we want to get eventually and have used in the past. If you look up cinematic film or cinematic lenses, it's that 1.2 f-stop, right? Like it's that 1.2 like cranked back very low because the lower the bigger the bokeh, right? Or the more what's the phrasing for that? Pronounced bokeh, right? So that is why that's just become the industry standard. That's just the very popularized.
Except in Fallout.
Except in Fallout. But the thing is,
they've made it a point.
It looks sick. It looks sick. Yeah. They have that 5.6 on the cinematic lens, probably an anamorphic 5.6, and it looks great. It looks great. So
well, they want to put as many Easter eggs in the back.
Yeah.
And that's like the point. The point of it is you're supposed to watch it from the forefront. And then you watch it a second time and you start picking out Easter eggs from the back.
Yeah.
That was Ella Purnell said that's what you need to do. That's why it was shot that way.
Yeah. And there is yes. Like, because that's being noticed, there is kind of like where there's culture, there's counterculture, right? So there is like in the industry, there's like, oh, we want to see more of the background. Like I talked about Train Dreams, very much like that. Like everything is crystal clear and in focus. But you go and you watch Sinners is kind of like that a little bit, where there's a little bit of a bokeh on there. There's I'm pretty sure Marty Supreme has some of that. But it's like it has its place. Like there's a reason it's popular. It's because there is good moments for that. But everything now has that, and you know. But anyway, going back to the CGI, it does seem like it is cheaper, and it is kind of like a shortcut. And it seems to me. So I phrased it earlier to ask, like, are they cutting corners? Is that why? Like, is it able to save time, and is it able to save money? It is able to save money. But I kind of, hearing your response to that, Jake, you phrased it very properly. It's like, okay, instead of hiring a VFX artist, what if we bring in a video game developer and just try to get them to do the same thing with like designing in Unreal Engine? Yeah. And honestly, they are putting in all the work they can. They are working as meticulously, going in as many details as possible, like the VFX artist. But because it's so different, the industries are different. And because what you can pop out in Unreal Engine versus whatever the industry standard is for VFX, they're so different, right? They're not going to look the same. So I will kind of retract and rephrase how I phrase it, because now that's a great point, is that you're probably getting video game developers who are kind of jumping over because, let's say, Neon or whoever. Neon's not really they're not using a ton of CGI, but you get what I'm saying. Like, one of these big distributors is like, okay, let's hire a VFX artist, and they're making the jump to film VFX because they're requiring you to use Unreal Engine because it's cheaper. So yeah, that's a great point. Anything else we want to say on this before we get into what we should know?
I got nada.
I do. I can see the depth of field thing working for movies, but when it's a TV show, a series where I just want to see the characters interact, it's just so, because it's like you're treating the audience like they can't pay attention. It's not just a cinematic thing. It's like, oh, look here, honey, jingle jingle, look, the character's speaking. And I think that's what they're trying to do, because we get distracted if there's too much in the background.
Right.
Anyway,
well,
that's go ahead.
No, something else too that's also become very popularized, a rack focus. The shot itself, like as a creative tool, is very popular, and it's really hard to do that if you have a very wide depth of field. So like if you see everything, you can't focus on one thing versus another. So it's kind of like, okay, more filmmakers are using techniques like a rack focus to play with your attention span. Not your attention span, to play with what you're seeing versus what you shouldn't see in one shot. And so I think that combined with the popularized, again, that bokeh, like, I think a lot of things are, but yeah, I think there is probably a point of like, oh, attention spans are worsened, which is just, it is true, but it's not true, because again, while you have the industry and Netflix and Ted Sarandos saying, hey, this doesn't work, you have to state the premise because the attention spans are bad. You have Denis Villeneuve, who's doing 007, he's doing Dune, who's saying, yeah, from my experience as a director, younger audiences want longer films. And I think he's right. I mean, look at some of the biggest films for the past however many years. Oppenheimer. Barbie's not a short film. You know what I mean? Like, all these films are long, and they're making millions and millions and millions of dollars. Avatar, the Fire and Ash, is a 3-hour movie, and they're making money. So no, I not just refute. They
had to put an intermission in the middle of The Architect. No, not The Architect.
The last Adrian Brody film from last year.
Yeah, Adrian Brody's film. They put an intermission in it. It was a 2-minute intermission,
and it was world renowned. So yeah, I rebuke. I don't just refuse. I rebuke those claims, and I think that but because that is the industry,
the brutalist.
Because that's the industry idea. I think that's why you're seeing certain techniques being adopted, because the idea is you can't pay attention. But again, then you actually listen to the people making the films, and they're like, no, actually, I don't think that's true. You will never see a Nolan less than 2.5 hours. And people want to see more Chris Nolan. Sorry, they do. So whatever, like, yeah, big film. Yeah, like, I don't know, like whatever. But anyway, I think that's a great point. You bring up very good points.
Thank you for your time.
And Emily goes back behind the curtain. Thank you, Emily, for joining us. And now we will go on to what you should know before you go. So again, I'm going to read you 6 quick headlines. We're going to talk about the ones that catch your eye, and then we'll let you guys out of here. Number 1, according to recent reports, Jacob Elordi has been in discussion with that Denis Villeneuve about 007 potentially starring as James Bond. Moving on, Warner Brothers and Dune 3 have reportedly blocked Marvel and Avengers Doomsday from their IMAX screens for their unified December 18th debut. Cillian Murphy will reportedly play Voldemort in the Harry Potter series at HBO. Disney officially reveals that Maul Shadow Lord's release schedule will include a April 6th first 2 episodes release every week, going 2 episodes at a time until their 9th and 10th episode when they will release on May the 4th.
Yeah.
I will stop here just for a second. Martin Scorsese, cinema. That's just cinema. That's what this is right now. Anyway, speaking to the Oxford Union, George R.R. Martin, oh, he's back. Old George is back. He reveals that his one regret in life is not having finished The Song of Ice and Winter, of course. He states, quote, by the time we sold these books to HBO, I had 4 books already published and I was making a lot of progress on the fight. Sorry. These books are like this. And he widens his hands as he's in the interview. How could they possibly catch up to me? But they did. And a great part of that is my fault.
He's acting like he's already died.
And lastly,
he's like, my biggest regret, my life's regret is not finishing this book. As I stand here telling you right now that I'm not going to finish this book.
We'll go right back. I want to read this last headline. Hawkeye Season 2 has officially been canceled by Disney. We'll go back to George R.R. Martin.
Oh, no.
You're exactly right. Because it's like, George, you still can finish. He's like, no. I can't. Please take the pen.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's all yours.
We will pay you to do it, even. We will pay you to do it. And he's like, I can't. It's my biggest regret. You know what else, too? I think this just all but confirms that he had an ending. And that was what was kind of told in the last season of Game of Thrones, like we had said, and had been theorized for many years now. And that because people hated it, now he's rewriting it and he does not know what to do. He's like, oh no. The fact that he was so far in and now all of a sudden he can't finish it, come on. The only thing that happened was it ended bad on the TV show, and now he's like, oh no, I gotta rewrite.
Or he lost it all.
Yeah, right. Oops! He drops it in like thing of water. Oh my gosh! I'm George R.R. Martin, and I've lost all of my last book. Oh no, the Winds of Winter is gone. I gotta restart. Like a month after the final season finishes airing. Oh no, I've got to restart Winds of Winter. Yeah, I don't know. It kind of does seem woe is me, pity me kind of feel, doesn't it? I'm sorry. It doesn't feel very, very. I'm making progress.
I think that's so funny. One regret in life is not finishing. I don't know. I just think that's such a quoted saying it, right?
Yeah. He volunteered.
Ryan, my biggest regret in life. My biggest regret is not being your roommate, man.
My biggest regret in life, not continuing this podcast. It's like, oh, we could still continue. Yeah. We could be back next Monday. Sorry, no,
my biggest regret's not doing the pod.
My life has moved on. Unfortunately, there's no turning back. Brother, you are 25 years old. I'm getting up there.
No.
Getting up there.
My biggest regret is not having Ryan in my wedding.
Ah. Dang, I missed that. I was gonna be
23 years old.
No, it is really sad. It is very upsetting.
I think it's funny because I have no ties to it, but I can see how it could be upsetting and frustrating for individuals that are like, dude, like what the hell?
Oh, I feel so bad for those who are just they're begging for this final book. They're waiting. They've been waiting on this series to finish. They see this. What else are you gonna do? Yeah, I don't know.
Watch
The Seven Kingdoms,
The Witcher.
The other shows that he's coming out with. I love too that he's like, I gotta write this book, but I'm gonna actively keep working on spin-off shows. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna keep writing in Game of Thrones, but I will not finish Game of Thrones. Okay.
What else we got?
We
talked about Cillian Murphy. What's up?
Something else that catches my eye that really makes me laugh. Jacob Elordi, the idea. I've seen this online too. Jacob Elordi's like 6'6". Like he's like a
yeah, I've seen this.
Where's Bond? And you look up and he's head and shoulders taller than everyone else. Like, oh, there he is. Like, you know what I mean? Every henchman ever will find him.
I can't seem to hit him. I can't seem to. Dude, you mean the big dude right there?
He's hiding behind a light pole.
The Shaq meme.
Yes, obviously, very visible behind it. They're like, where'd he go? I don't know. I find that comedic.
Emily, I know you're listening. I think he's coming around to the idea of Tom Holland.
I'm not. No, not happening.
It's either or, Ryan. It's either or.
You telling me the idea is Jacob Elordi or Tom Holland? Those are our choices.
Yes. Or
I don't
James
hate
Gunn.
Tom Holland. I hate Tom Holland as 007. That's where I hate Tom Holland as. But I don't hate Tom Holland.
I don't think the quote's wrong, Ryan.
Okay.
You said I hate Tom Holland.
As 007.
No.
There's a finish to that.
No.
There's a
Uh-oh.
finish to that. Oh, Emily's back. Anyway, she's gone. She's gone.
Anyway, yeah, I think Elordi's got what was it? Boyish good looks charm the young charm that Ryan says Tom Holland doesn't have.
I did not. I literally did. I didn't say that. That was Emily that said that. It's on. Listen, it's on our socials. You can go see it. It's a pretty funny clip. I said, I would like to see him have a little bit of like, not scruff to him, but I would like to see him be a little bit like he's got to have an edge to him. You know what I mean? I don't even know if Jacob Elordi has that per se. I don't really know how to feel about Jacob Elordi.
Margot Robbie thinks so.
Yeah, Jake. Yeah. What a marketing tactic for not Hamnet. It's Wuthering Heights. That's what it is. Yeah.
Nuts. That's crazy marketing.
Yeah. I fell in love with him on set. I am still married.
Well, it was rumored that he had also filled a room with roses too.
I don't know.
And I love all the comments that are like Margot Robbie's husband.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's nuts. That's actually like a big L for Margot, for both of them, really.
Yeah.
Homewrecker and cheater. Like, why are we painting ourselves as that for marketing?
Because we want to
That's
sell
nuts.
a movie.
Yeah. I don't know. Will it work? Maybe. Will people hate watch it? I don't know. I don't know. So, it's method acting. Every actor in Hollywood right now. That's what Emily says. Is that method acting? I miss when actors just got so into the character they killed themselves.
I couldn't help but fall in love with him. I was a part of the character.
I knew it was coming.
Controversial character.
But no, I was mentioning. I don't know. Anyway, Heath
They
Ledger.
just do whatever they want, and then they go, "It's method acting. I was just getting into character." And you're like, "You're cheating on your wife now, sir. Do you realize that?"
Listen,
you diddled
just getting into
kids.
character.
To better my on-screen chemistry with this person, our characters had to have sex. That's the only option.
Yeah. We didn't have intimacy
In real
coordinators.
life,
Yeah. Of course,
ourselves.
we were method acting. It wasn't real. We didn't really do it. We didn't really do it.
We were just soaked.
Wild.
We were just
I knew
soaking.
you were going to say that. I knew that. Okay, we've gone off the deep end here. All right. Anything else we want to say to the good people before we let them go? We're going to let them off the air.
Cillian Murphy as Voldemort. Round
Fantastic.
of applause.
Fantastic choice, HBO.
Golf clap. And L Doomsday sucks for was it Kate Bishop?
Yeah. We'll see her again.
Well, yeah, we'll see her again,
not
but it's not looking good for Renner. Renner's like he's not getting the job, and they're not wanting to pay him either.
Yeah.
Like they don't want to pay him, and he doesn't want to do it for that little of money. But I don't know.
It's looking
because
like
he got hit by a truck.
Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're saying that like they'll pay him less because he can't do near as many of the stunts because he got run over. Snowplow. Yeah. It's run over by a snowplow, and so they want to pay him less. And he's like, you're not paying me less for my injuries. Anyway.
Yeah.
That's another day. And then what else we got? Ball. Yeah. I'll let Ryan talk about that if he even wants to.
I am so excited for more animated Star Wars, but also I am beyond thrilled for the idea of Darth Maul leading his own story, his actually being the central character of his own show.
Does this pick up from Solo?
I'm pretty certain, yes. I'm not actually. Let me
cool.
actually look at Maul, just to be sure. Oh my gosh, if I could type Shadow Lord Armageddon. So takes place after the events of the Clone Wars and follows former Sith during the reign of the Galactic Empire. So it's him. It is him. Yes, like around Solo in the underworld during like
or a little bit before Solo. I guess it's the rise of his.
Probably before and after, like kind of like during as well. Like I would say that it crosses a good time, like a good arc. I don't know. Like we just know it's during the Empire. I will tell you, the idea of Maul getting that development in that time span. Everyone loves Darth Maul. I'm pretty sure Sam Witwer is back as Maul. He is the quintessential voice of Maul. He is fantastic. Anyone who knows Star Wars loves Sam Witwer. I don't know. I look forward to this. I love the idea that it ends on May the 4th. I think that's beautiful. Perfect for Star Wars Day, Star Wars season. And I'm just excited. The writer as well, he has done some pretty notable projects. Matt Miknovitz is his name. Let me get some of his credits because he wrote one of the major arcs in Star Wars: The Clone Wars. He is credited on IMDb as a writer for Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. He also did Bad Batch, and there was a canceled game that he was supposed to have done that was like following, like you were on Coruscant and you were like in the underworld of Coruscant, that ended up getting canceled, but it was very well received by fans when they actually read the synopsis and saw some of because it was in early development. When they saw what it was going to look like, fans loved it, and they were, rightfully so, they were absolutely devastated that it even got canceled. Pretty sure it was canceled because of the Disney acquisition. But, again, this guy, Matt, again, Miknovitz, very well known within the community and has done some especially in the realm of the animated, the Clone Wars style of animation, has done very well. And I look forward to Maul.
Shadow Lord.
I know.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry. I was finishing my thought. Anyway.
And I have not seen Clone Wars. And so
travesty.
I do know Maul. He dies. He dies in the first 3, by the way, or the prequels. He dies in the prequels. He does.
So that's the end of your knowledge of Darth Maul.
I know that he does some things. Post being 2.
I know he's there. He's around. Yeah.
Yeah. He's half the man he was. Then he became the full man.
That's going to be the end of our show. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for sticking with us, and we look forward to seeing you guys next Monday. Goodbye.